Good. Well, it's morning where I'm at. So good morning, everyone. And I keep trying to remember that not everybody's in the same time zone I'm in. I don't understand that, which just leads me to believe that time is really a screwy concept. We'll have to talk about time sometime. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a good day. Hey, um, Diane has a 12 o'clock thing going today. Are people involved in that? Uh, I'm registered for it, but I'm not particularly worried about being on time for it. But if anyone's involved in that, I think we'll be done at noon anyhow. But just let me know in the chat. Or drop off if you have to. Um, okay, couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share and try not to screw this up since there's nobody over here keeping me honest. Oh yeah, before I do the screen share, I suppose I should let you know, Larry, that yeah, I got my hoodie on. It's damn chilly here today. It really rained and wind and howled and poured last night, and although the sun's out right now and it's warm on the deck, the house is still catching up. So let me go to screen share. A couple of things I want to share with you. So hopefully you can see my screen. Everybody can see the screen, I'm going to assume. And we go to Twitter. So I'll show you what's going on here. I really started to implement this strategy a week ago that basically it's the same strategy that Adam talked about on the Wednesday night MLSP webinar, the same one Clive talked about, and you can see the results. I've got a lot more tweets, a lot of impressions, up 300%, profile visits up over 300%, which is a really good thing, and followers up 606. And if you look at the audiences, you can see what's happened. So to that extent, it's working. Now, having said all that, I do have Tweet Jukebox running. I'm going to close Twitter down for a minute and stop the share. Okay, so I do have Tweet Jukebox running, and I also have unfollowers. But it's not called unfollowers anymore. It is called, what's it called? It's called Status Brew. And I have Status Brew, and I've been using. I'm not going to train on this technique today because we've had enough training on it. I think that everybody has seen it. You can go back to the MLSP webinar. We can go back to the to Clive Jeffries training. Clive is using something else. He's using Hootsuite. Same thing. So I am getting results. And if I pull up my email, I could show you emails from MLSP telling me I got new leads. So I'm actually getting leads coming in from people on Twitter, and I'm only up, to what, a little 1,600 followers or something right now. Imagine when I get to 50,000 like Adam is. So it's working. I'm adding a couple hundred a day. Unfollowers is limiting me. I've not seen a day where I can add 1,000 yet. I just don't have enough total followers to be able to add that many. But I've been able to add a couple hundred followers every day. Okay. I'm watching the chat. Is there any questions about Tweet Jukebox? Is anyone else having any results? Does anyone want to come over and talk about it? And before I go back to screen share where I can't see the chat anymore, let's talk a little bit about Facebook, and then we're going to go over to the Facebook Ads Manager. Facebook threw me in jail. I think it was Saturday. for about 24 hours. And, you know, in Facebook's fashion, they just don't give you enough information for you to know what it is you did that triggered them. Now, I have been posting in groups every day. Okay, Craig, what am I getting? Where am I getting the leads from? The ones I'm getting right now are coming in. I'm getting leads coming in from Twitter. I don't know if that answers your question. If it doesn't, then either come over and talk to me or ask a slightly different question, because the question is pretty vague. At least I don't quite understand exactly what you mean by it. So I just want to put out a warning there that with all the precautions, I did get thrown in Facebook jail. And when I go to Facebook in a minute, I'll tell you exactly what I did. And I can't tell you, because Facebook just simply doesn't give you enough information to know exactly what it is that triggered them to stop me. But they stopped me from posting in groups for about 24 hours. Now, I am posting in groups. I'm posting in about 25 groups, typically minimum of once, most days twice. So I'm putting the Coffee with Len videos in the groups, and then I'm putting up a new blog post, almost one every day, and I'm typically sending those out to the groups. Now, the blog posts are usually going out with a cover video, although not always. But the link that I'm posting in the groups sends people back to my blog. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to screen share. We're gonna head on out to Facebook. So there's the share. Once again, presuming everybody can see my screen. We can get rid of that one. Head on out to Facebook. And to one of my fan pages. So the typical post that I've been putting up and putting into groups is just like this one right here. I just posted that in groups a little bit ago. It has a video. It has a link back to my blog post. And I've been putting those up, and I haven't had any trouble with them. Now, the one that I was putting up on Saturday that seemed to have triggered the issue was this one. Terry Grimal's got this these little contests, and he's heading into a product launch. He's obviously doing a product launch. This post simply went directly back to Terry's capture page. So you can see what happens when we click on that post. It goes to a capture page. And I was sharing that into the groups, and I was going pretty rapidly. I was just going as fast as I could go, going share, click on the group name, share, click on the group name, share. And about maybe 10 or 12 groups into the sharing process, suddenly I was blocked. Facebook stopped me and told me I was not able to share in groups until 6 o'clock tomorrow, the next day. I didn't really challenge them, but I did click on the link that asked them to explain in more depth what the problem was. And the explanation was so vague that I don't know how to make any sense out of it. But as far as I can tell, they were complaining about me going too fast. Maybe I appeared to be an auto poster to them because I was going really fast. And maybe it was just going straight to a capture page that caused the problem. So I don't know the answer. And that's really all I know about it. So once again, I don't have any good, clever advice except be careful, go slow. What I've been doing since I got out of Facebook jail with these posts is I've been putting them in the groups. I've just been going a little bit slower with them. I put it up in maybe 10 groups at a time, and then I go pour a cup of coffee. Then I come back and put it up in some more groups and go do something else. So I've just slowed down the process, And I'm not doing capture pages right now. Again, I'm just doing links back to my blog. So instead of me putting up Terry's capture page, which you're seeing directly here, what I put up yesterday was this, which was a video that goes back to my blog that links to Terry's capture page from there. So I don't know. I saw this morning Felicia was posting in groups, and I saw her that she was posting the capture page. So, in fact, let me see. Right. I don't see it. Well, I don't want to waste your time looking for it. Too many more messages have come in since the one from Felicia. But oh, there it is. So if you look at that, you'll see that there's Felicia. She put up this post this morning, and this is exactly the same kind of post I was putting in. In fact, this is one of the groups that I post in. If you'll see right below, if I scroll down here a little bit, you'll see my post for today in here. Never mind, I'm not going to go down that far. But the point is, she's getting away with it. I didn't. I don't know why. So much for Facebook's posting and getting thrown in jail. Last week we talked about several different kinds of ads, and I'm going to just go ahead over to the Ads Manager and walk through a couple of different kinds of ads with you on using the Ads Manager now. So let's go. Let me go back to my my page here. I like to go to the Ads Manager from here. I don't know why, it's just a habit. So there's the Ads Manager. And the kinds of ads we wanted to talk about were boosting posts and likes campaign. So last week we did both. We did a boosted post and we did a likes campaign without using the Ads Manager. Today we'll use the Ads Manager. So the Ads Manager, I was going to put up a couple of slides about the structure of Facebook ads. We'll leave those alone for right now. I'm going to assume that we all know a little bit about the structure of the ads, and if we don't, we'll see it in a minute. Let's just simply go ahead and create an ad. So we're in the Ads Manager now. We're right where we were last week when we looked at audiences and the pixels and things like that. These are the tools that we used last week to do that. So here's create an ad. Now, it gives me, Facebook's advertising these days is all based on what it is you want to accomplish. So we want to boost a post, we want to promote a page, we might want to send people to our website. This kind of ad is apparently dying pretty rapidly. It's not being used because what is being used is increased conversions to your website. We're not going to get to that one today. Then there's a whole bunch of other ads: get installs, increase engagement, reach people near your business. Since we don't have a local business, that's not what we're interested in. The only other kind of ad that could be potentially interesting is get video views. So again, Facebook's advertising is all objective based. What is the objective? What are you trying to accomplish? And the structure of Facebook ads is shown here on the left side. The campaign is the highest level of the ad. Campaign might be something like Instagram or MLSP. It's a very high level. What are you advertising? Then the ad sets themselves, inside the campaign, there's ad sets. The ad sets contain, as you can see, the audience and the budget. So if I have a campaign, which is, maybe my campaign is, again, let's use Instagram. Maybe my campaign is to, or maybe it's to advertise Adam Chandler's Twitter training from last week. So I might select a campaign and name it Twitter training. Then I might select ad sets. Now, one ad set could be, I'm going to target this campaign. I'm going to target an ad toward everybody who likes Ray Higdon. Okay. And another ad set might be, I'm going to target everybody who likes Adam Chandler. I don't know. I'm just picking names. So those are the ad sets. So that the ad sets include the audience and the budget. So I can change an audience here. I can change a budget, and they can all be under the same campaign. And then finally, at the lowest level is the ad itself. And I can have multiple ads. So Under a campaign that's targeting, say, Instagram trading, I might have an ad set that targets everybody who likes Ray Higdon, and then I might have 2 or 3 different ads because I'm split testing. So this can get pretty sophisticated and pretty complicated. Now, for the most part, if we're not in the Power Editor, if we're here in the Ads Manager, for the most part, Facebook makes this almost invisible to you. It just simply does it for you. So when you say you're going to boost a post, it creates a campaign about boosting your posts. And let's go ahead and just do this. It creates a campaign about boosting your posts, and you don't have to deal with this. When we do the Power Editor, which is probably still a couple of weeks away, we will have to deal with it in the Power Editor. But let's say we're going to do a boosted post, and let's say that the post I'm going to boost is on the Len Mooney fan page. So there we go. Now it's going to give me a list of first it's going to warn me that this particular post that came up includes a video, and so it's going to suggest to me that I might want to try video views and get a lower cost. But that's not the post I want to boost. So all I have to do is click on this down arrow, and it's going to bring up a list of all the posts that are on that page, and I can just scroll on down that list and find whatever one I want to boost. So I'm going to go ahead actually, and I'm going to go to my post that I told you I was going to boost last week and never got around to, which is my new guide to social media marketing. And I'm going to click on that and tell it that's the post I want to boost. Fine. So it didn't make me select a campaign. You see that campaign is highlighted here, and that's exactly what Facebook has done for me. And it's done it without me having to deal with it directly. So the campaign is selected. This campaign is a page post engagement to this post. Now we set audience and budget. Now, just as we did last week, we can go through the whole audience selection process. And this is a place where we can create or we can use our custom audiences. So we can browse different audiences that we have. And like I have audiences coming in from, this is both of my websites, thelenmooney.com and the MLSP site. So in fact, I just created this audience, so it's only got 30 people in it right now. It's pretty small, but I just did that yesterday. So we can create custom audiences. We can use lookalike audiences, and then we can go ahead and start selecting other things. So we can select what country we're doing. We're going to look in. We're going to select our age group, and I'm not going to go through all this right now, and select our languages. And then we can go on down to the targeting, which is, we covered this last week. And just a quick review is we can target lots of different kinds of people. So for example, with that ad, I might want to target people that are in home-based business. And that tells me that I'm going to target roughly 103,000 people. So we're not going to, and again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on targeting. And part of the reason is that targeting is so individualized. There is so much stuff we can do, home-based business, multi-level marketing, things like that, business opportunities. There's so many different things we can do that you really have to get into this on a case-by-case basis. And this is where trying to define or doing a good job of defining your avatar comes into play, as to try to figure out exactly who it is you want to target and narrow down your audience. Now, to be honest with you, in what I'm doing right now today, I'm not going to run this ad. For example, age range 18 to 65, I wouldn't let that go. And I just know from experience that age range is all wrong. I'm going to come back and I'm going to want to fine tune that. So for example, I'm probably going to say maybe 35 to say 64. And why am I going to drop it off at 64 and not 65 plus? As I mentioned to you last week, I found by experimenting that 65 plus, above 65, has a large group of people that are highly non-active. So they just don't seem to do much. And you end up spending money putting ads in front of people that aren't responsive. So So that's probably the age range that I would go with. I'm going to go with all men. Maybe this ad's going to be home-based. This ad set's going to be home-based business. I could make another ad set that targeted MLM, for example. Then we're going to go to our daily budget. How much do you want to spend? Facebook always has a suggestion. The minimum ad spend is typically $5. Run my ad set continuously, or pick a start date. We're going to optimize the ad for post engagement because that's what we're looking to get, and we're going to let Facebook handle the bids. Following Justice Egan and a couple of other people, they seem to feel that Facebook has done a really good job of fine-tuning this stuff, that they understand what you've set for an objective, and they're better at it than you and I are at figuring out how to target those people for what the objective is. So it's sort of best to leave them alone and let them do it themselves. So that's pretty much it. Now we have another task. You see, now we're in the ad set. The final task is we have to choose the ad content. And here's where things get a little bit interesting, because I'm not going to go through it with this one because we're going to go through it in the next ad. But I can change the ad content if I want. I can change the picture. I can change the headline, etc. But if we're really trying to get people to like a post on the page, it's probably best just to leave it alone. So at this point, I would say that we're pretty much really ready to run this ad. The only thing left to do is to track conversions or decide if we want to do any conversion tracking on it at all. And yeah, if it's a boost to post ad like this one is, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm on a fence post. I don't know if it makes sense to try to track the conversions or not. And so I just probably leave it alone. And so we're ready to place the order. That's it. Let me back out of here and go to the next kind of ad, which is a little bit more intriguing because it's got a few more things to it. And so the next type of ad we want to do is create a promote our page ad. Promote the page. And the question is, what page do we want to promote? And that's the page. And so it doesn't give us a whole heck of a lot of options here. We just select the page and we set budget and schedule. Now, once again, all the same rules apply. We can pick audiences, we can pick our age range, we can do all those things and come on down through this. And I'm not going to play with this right now. We can set our daily budget and nothing else changes. Here's where things get interesting with the ad creative. I can create a slideshow, I can put in a video, or I can create images. Now, when we did this without using the ads manager, we were not able to use multiple images. We could only select one image. Here, we can select multiple images. So I selected images, and it says, do I want to add more images? And so, for example, I can browse the library. These are images that are already in Facebook because I've loaded them for other reasons. I'm going to pick on this one right now just for giggles and put it up there until it's done. So you see what's going to happen now is Facebook is going to run this ad with both of these images. It's going to alternate them. So it's going to show the ad with one image, then it's going to show the ad with the other image. And you can have up to 6 images. So add more images. We can go out to my computer and find other images to add. And I believe the limit is 6. There's also a recommended number of pixels. Neither one of these images matches the correct number of pixels. So, and so if you have trouble getting the images to fit, you may have to go create new images. But the point is, this is where you can do split testing on different images. And I have done split testing. And one of the things, as I told you last week, one of the things that I found is this image of the river seems to convert better in many cases than any other image that I've ever used. People seem to like it. And okay, so once you're into the ad creative like this, now we have some other options we can do, show advanced options. So we can play with the headline, and we can also play with the landing view. The landing view is, if somebody does click on this ad, where do they land when they come to your page? Now, I don't know personally right at this moment in time. There's a lot of different things that I could select, but the reality is I don't know why in this particular case I would select anything other than the timeline. And the reason is that I'm trying to get likes to my page. So I want them to land on my timeline and I want them to like the page. So that's, I think, the reason that I would just leave that alone and not do anything else with it. Now, once again, we can track conversions on this ad. So if I want to track conversions, I can just select track it. And Len Mooney's pixel was defined up to the up months ago and sitting out there. So I can use that to track conversions. And apart from the fact that I really didn't go through a lot of detail up in the ad set part of this, we didn't really select our audience and et cetera. I'm now ready to simply go ahead and place the order. Now, there's one piece about this order that's interesting. I think you're all aware that Facebook has a 20% rule, that this text cannot take up more than 20% of this image. I haven't tested this image recently, but it looks to me like this text is taking up more than 20% of the image, which means that Facebook might disapprove this ad based on the 20% text rule. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that, there is a, and I'm not going to actually go all the way through it, but if we just simply go out to Google and we Google Facebook grid, you see we get the Facebook grid tool here, and all we have to do is go here. There's a video about how to use it, and somewhere in here there's a let's see, we're at the Facebook. We should be on the page. Okay, here's a watch the video to see what's allowed, and maybe it's in here, but there is a tool that loads that you can put your ad in. Maybe it's in here. I'm not sure. I haven't used this in a long time. Nope, that's not the one. That's not going to do what we want. Okay. Maybe we have to watch the video first. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Check your ad using the grid tool. So fine. Check your ad using the grid tool. And all we have to do now is go get the grid tool. And then we have to choose the file. And I'm not going to go through to choose that file because I don't know where it is right now. But we'd find out right away if that picture obeyed the grid rule or if it didn't. So I'm going to close Facebook, and I'm going to stop the sharing. Come back to the Hey Nod. Bring me over, Len. Okay. Larry wants to come over, and Craig wants to come over. Craig, you're the first one on the list, so I'll click you. And that doesn't seem to be working. Craig. Oh, no, but I think I just clicked Rick too. All right, Rick, I did click you. You don't have to come if you don't want to, or you can come if you want. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Here comes Larry. If anybody's dying to get on Diane's thing, feel free to drop off. No harm, no foul. And there's Larry, and there's Craig, and all right, who's first?
It doesn't matter to me.
Well, you're talking, so talk.
Okay, one thing I wanted to say about that status brew. For a while, I was getting stopped at 120 some days, 220 people that you could do it. But the one thing I forgot about that Adam said is once that box comes up and said you've reached your limit for the day, wait about 15 minutes and go back and start following people again.
I've done that.
It works.
I've actually done that, but I believe the largest number I ever got to was about 250 or 300 people. I never got all the way to 1,000. But I don't know. Maybe I just didn't try often enough.
Yeah, I got to. I think I got to 400 or 500 in a day.
How many followers do you have, Larry?
I don't know. Let me look. Right now, I have 2,158.
Okay. I was able to follow a whole lot of people, and then once I went over the 2,000, it seemed like it went down. And I think that they put a limit on you, like a 10% thing, when you go over 2,000. So you have to really watch the amount of followers and the followings that you have. But I think over time it will continually build up again. I'm at about 2,300 right now.
But see, what I've been doing is I wait every 3 or 4 days. Actually, probably maybe 4 or 5 days, and I go in and I unfollow. Like the other day, I unfollowed 1,020 people.
Yeah.
And then I was I think about 200 or 300 under my followers.
Okay.
So I could build back up.
Okay. The question to you, Lynn, earlier was how were you getting your followers on that Tweet Jukebox? What program was it? Was it from your blog settings or what? Did we lose him?
I think we lost Len.
Wow.
I used, you know what I do on Tweet Jukebox? I'm redoing all my blog posts because I was writing them wrong and I realized nobody was going to see them.
Okay.
But what I use for the blog parts is I'm using MLS Play blogs, the blogs I write every day.
Yeah. You know, how did you get those over there? Individually? How did you do that?
Yeah, you have to go down. You know how the blog post is there? I take a
Right.
screenshot of the image.
Okay.
I save that to my desktop, and then when I go down to it, I go to the under the blog post, the Twitter, to tweet
Right.
it.
Right.
That comes up with your link to it.
Okay.
So just don't take the whole thing. Just take the HTTP tweet, and that has your link on it. And I put that in there. I put the title of the blog, and then hit a space, and then I put the tweet part that has my link on there.
Okay. Yeah, I loaded up a bunch of system campaigns the other day, and I used a Bitly to shorten it.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I posted them, none of my links worked, so I had to go back in and redo them all yesterday. So it was a pain in the butt, but I got them straightened out now.
Yeah, I think I put in about 30 of them.
Yeah. Very good. I think they must all jetted off to go to that Diane's thing.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks. See you, Craig.
All right. Bye.